Hey everyone, you might have noticed that your traffic has been steadily declining. If that's the case, you're not alone. And the main reason for this is the introduction of the AI overview inside of Google Search. While the AI overview is really cool and works really hard to be able to get you the answer that you're looking for, the downside is because it gives you the answer, you're not going to click on the link to find it for yourself. And since about January of this year, a lot of people have kind of seen a flip when it comes to impressions and clicks inside of their search console. So while there's still a lot of traffic to be had on Google, it is steadily declining at a slow rate. Now, if you're a location-based business and you've seen this trend happening on your website, I have good news for you. There's still one massive powerhouse that's driving a ton of traffic to websites on Google. And I'm talking about the Google Map Pack. So while Google Search will continue to fluctuate due to the implementation of AI, the Google Map Pack remains a constant source of traffic for local businesses. In this video, I'm going to break down why the Google Map Pack is so important and what you can do to be able to leverage its power to get more traffic to your location-based business. So let's get into it. Okay, so to quickly set the record straight, what am I talking about when I'm talking about the Google Map Pack? So for example, if I search on Google for plumbers in Salt Lake City and I hit enter, Google's going to show me the map pack, which is this section right here where it shows a map and then it gives me listings of what it thinks is the most relevant business that I'm looking for. So you'll notice that Google ads do play a role in this, right? You can force yourself in the map pack with a Google ad, but after the sponsored listing, the rest of these listings are organic listings that Google is using a lot of signals for, just like it does on Google Search, to serve up what it thinks is the most relevant listing that'll apply to you. So let's quickly talk about the top 3 factors that make a difference in coming up in the map pack. The first and biggest signal is customer reviews. And if you quickly take a look at this example, there's something that all of these top listings have in common, and that's the number of 5-star or high reviews, right? This one right here has got 619 reviews with an average of 4.9 stars. This one has 2,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. This one has 2.6 thousand reviews with an average of 4.7 stars. So you can see right here that the average rating of 5-star reviews is being very heavily weighted here, right? This one that has less reviews is still coming up above these, and this 4.9 has something to do with that. That correlates with the ability for it to rank high. So making sure that you have a good review strategy or a way to collect reviews from your customers is imperative to making sure that you come up in the map pack. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Well, it's really hard to get reviews. I don't really know how to get them. I feel weird asking for them. And what can I do to get more 5-star reviews? Well, it's actually not as hard as you may think it is. So let me give you a real world example of what I'm talking about. So 3 weeks ago, I had a call with a client who has a brand new RV park. This client is starting from the bottom, right? They don't have any reviews. They've got to start getting reviews. So we had a long talk about how important reviews are and what were some ideas that they could implement to be able to get some reviews. One of those ideas was to be able to maybe offer a discount on the local ice cream shop in the area, or maybe working with the local movie theater to give some sort of discount on tickets. So in that call, after we gave some ideas, I got an email from them 3 days later. And in this email, they explained how when people came to check out from their RV park, they simply offered them a soda right there in the lobby if they would leave them a good review. And while that sounds so silly, it works. They've had 18 5-star reviews in the space of only 3 weeks since we had that conversation. And while 18 reviews doesn't sound like a lot, that is a ton for a brand new business. And if they keep up that sort of volume, within no time, they're going to be competing with the other people on the map pack that are taking that top spot. The second factor that helps you to get found in the local map pack is citations, or places around the web that also state what type of business you are and where you're located. Now, there's a really simple way to be able to find out which sources Google is weighting to help kind of build your profile online. So in this example right here, if we took Beehive Plumbing, inside of Google, all I would need to do is type in what is Beehive Plumbing? And this is going to give me a quick snapshot into where Google is looking for this information. So clearly, you can see that they're looking at their website, which we're going to get into that in just a moment, but they're looking at the Facebook profile, they're looking at Yelp, they're looking at the Better Business Bureau, a place called PitchBook, Reddit, and other places, right? So building a strong citation presence or going out and updating a lot of profiles on a lot of different places is a really good way to help Google understand that you really are this type of business. You really are located at this location, and your phone number and your address are correct. Now, of course, you could go to all of these different places like Yelp, TripAdvisor, MapQuest, and so forth, and update your profile manually. And if you don't have a budget and you don't have money to pay to just make this a little bit easier for yourself, absolutely go do that. Make sure that you're doing that because that's going to help Google understand in the map pack who you are and build that profile so that you'll show up on the map pack. But if you have a little bit of budget and you really value your time, using a service like BKA Content is a great way to be able to update your citations in one big swoop. Now this leads me right into my third factor when we're talking about web profile, which has to do with your own website. So similar to the citations, which are telling Google who your website is, what your business is, where it's located, the hours of operation, that same information needs to exist on your website with a proper website structure. And while this sounds really simple to do, I can't tell you how many people actually do this incorrectly or don't even have this set up at all on their site. We help clients all the time fix this by creating a good site structure that has service pages that actually talk about the individual services that you offer, as well as specific location pages to help Google understand the context and relevancy of your services in particular areas. One of the biggest mistakes that I see most websites make is that they try to create a one-page website where they just cram in all the information that they want on one page. Now, while this definitely makes your website much simpler and maybe makes it much easier for you as a website owner to write that information down, you're not giving it to Google in a way that makes sense. In fact, a one-page website is incredibly confusing to Google, and if you want to compete on Google, I would never recommend making a one-page website. The secret with Google is you have to spoon-feed it information. Google looks at your website to try and understand the hierarchy of which pages are the parent pages and what content pages are the child pages. If you don't have a good sort of pyramid structure for your content, meaning your services and your locations, it's going to be really confusing for Google to try and understand who you are, where you're located, and what you even do. So what does this really look like in a real world example? So to see this in action, let's just go ahead and use our example that we were looking at about plumbing in Salt Lake City. So if we go to this very top listing here, Salt City Plumbing, Heating and Air, let's take a look at their website and let's just see their site structure. So if we take a look at their website, one thing that they're doing very well is they have individual service pages for all of the different services that they offer. Now, one thing that they're doing pretty well here is they're listing the main area that they serve and giving it context on the page. For example, they're sharing that they serve Salt Lake City and surrounding areas. If you go through the page, you can see that Salt Lake City is on here a few different times, which helps Google contextually understand what locations this business actually serves. You can see here that they also have a section which also has cities that they service. Now, this is good, but they could take this one step further and create actual pages for each of these locations explaining that they provide these plumbing services, HVAC services, boiler services in these individual cities so that if people are searching near those cities, Google has more context to help them actually rank in the map pack for additional cities outside of Salt Lake City. So even though they don't have separate pages for their locations, you can still see that the number of 5-star reviews is still carrying the most weight. This simply means that reviews are the most important signal that Google is using for the map pack. Second is the citations or the web profile or links that exist online pointing back to your business, helping Google to understand what your business does and what locations it serves. And number 3, making sure that your website structure and the pages that you have give Google the context it needs to understand what you do and where you do it. By focusing on these 3 different factors, you can help your business to raise in the map pack for the locations that you're located in. Now, if you've stuck around this long, please make sure that you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you'll be alerted when we put out more helpful content like this. And if you'd like to learn more on how to create a site structure that Google loves that it will reward with traffic and in the map pack, make sure that you watch this video. In this video, we go in way more depth on how to create a site structure. So watch this video and I'll see you over there.